Hi guys, it's Erica here. This is part 2 of my drip irrigation series. In the very first video, I converted my overhead sprinkler to a drip irrigation. I just did the adapter part, and in this video, I am going to be installing the tubing for that system. Now, if you are interested in that very first video, I will put a link down in the description box below, and let's just jump right into it. The very first step here is to flush your lines. What that means is you want to turn on the water and allow water to flow freely through your lines. This is going to push any dirt that's been caught in your lines out. You don't want to install your entire system and then have dirt stuck in there because it's going to clog up your lines and you're going to have to redo some of the tubing to get the dirt out. So the very first step, turn on your irrigation and let that water flow through your tubing. The next step is to install the tubing. I'll post down below the tubing that I'm using as well as the adapter so that way you can get the products that go well together. And before you install tubing though, I would definitely make sure that water came out of all of your adapters if you're doing multiple, just to be sure there isn't a huge clog somewhere. And one note is that this is going to be pretty difficult to install, so if you have a bunch to do, I would definitely take breaks to let your hands take a rest. Alright, so this tubing that I'm using is actually recycled from a different project. I already have a little end cap, I think that's what it's called, installed. I'm gonna take it off just to show you exactly how to install this because it definitely, I don't know if it was just me, but I got a little bit confused trying to figure out how to put this on. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it off and show you guys how to put this onto the tubing. Okay, that took a while, but here's the end cap. It was very difficult to get off. There's only one moving piece, and that is this spinny piece. It spins in the down position and in the up position. You want to have it in the up position and then push the tubing into it. I probably should have showed you what it looked like in the bottom, but there's an area where you can push the tubing into, and then you want to spin the spin piece in the down position as far as you can without, breaking the plastic. And you want it to be pretty tight because if not, it's going to completely pop off. But that's how you install the end cap. So now I'm going to go ahead and install the other side of the tubing. I'm going to speed right through it, but check out the ants. There are so many ants. I can't believe it. If you guys have a solution to what to do with these ants, please let me know. I have an ant problem in the backyard and in the front yard, and it's driving me crazy. So the next step is to start attaching things. Now this is called a coupling. This is the connection between the large hose and this smaller hose that I'm going to show you in a second. This is not the ideal piece to be using. I would rather use an elbow, but it's what I have. So this piece goes into the smaller hose here, and I'll post this size down below so you can see what size I'm using. This is a recycled piece from a different project, so it's already installed into the little tubing. Hopefully, yep, there we go. Now that other end goes into the larger hose, and you'll see why I wanted to use an elbow and not this coupling. So you'll see because it sticks straight up, and I'm gonna have to turn the larger hose so that it sits flush with the ground. I'll have to get some stakes to keep it in place, but an elbow is ideal here. Now the other end, you're going to want to use a dripper or a mister or anything like that. There's going to be all different kinds of options. It's really going to be dependent on the plant you have, its water requirements, and what climate you live in, and just what your preference is. So that goes in there again. Make sure you push it all the way through because if it's not tight fitting, it's going to pop off when you turn the water on. So here's an example of something different that you can use. This is like a little mini sprinkler. It attaches the same way as the dripper does. You can adjust the top so that you can get water to more plants or less plants. I'm using this, I think really is because I couldn't find any stakes, and I also didn't feel like putting in a bunch of different drippers to get to all of the plants. So I'm just installing this in the middle of my rows of black peas, I think this is. So there you go, guys. That is how you set up a drip irrigation system. This is a super simplified version just to show you how it's done. The very last step is to simply turn on your water and make sure everything is working the way you want it to. That is the end of this video. If you like this video, hit that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, then hit that subscribe button. All right, guys. Thanks. See ya.